Okay, welcome to the show. Tim is out of town. He's having a great time on the East Coast this week. And so today you get me. This morning I was struggling with trying to come up with a topic for the podcast. And I've been struggling to find time to, quite frankly, do the podcast, to think about the podcast, to put energy into the podcast. And so I was thinking about what the topic was going to be today. And I said, well, maybe I should think about and talk about why I feel disorganized. I feel like I have very limited time. I don't feel like I have enough time to kind of accomplish the tasks that I want to accomplish during the week, and just kind of barely feel like I'm barely getting by here the last several months. And so wanted to talk a little bit about that, kind of maybe self-diagnose some of these items, and then ultimately make improvements. So just kind of did a little bit of research on tips, tricks, help for organization. And so I'll run through those today. It's organization, time management, things of that nature. I'll run through that list and kind of share my observations of that, and talk about what I would like to improve and change, really starting as early as tomorrow, in implementing some of these things, and some of these things that I've known about or used to do and for whatever reason have gotten away from. So that's what I'm going to chat about today. Should be a short one, and hopefully it's not too boring for you. If it is, I apologize. So about 6 months ago, I started a new job. That new job has been really fun, exciting. I'm very happy about it. I am recharged at working with a new group of people and doing something that I'm very interested in. And so happy about that. One of the challenges with the new job is that I am performing new tasks and I'm doing things I've never been exposed to before. And so learning a lot of new things and kind of going through, a steep learning curve. And so I have felt disorganized, and I've felt like I don't have enough time in the day, in the week, in the month to do the things that I want to do. And I think partly I know why, and partly I don't know why. And so I'll talk a little bit about both of those now. So I think I've probably been a little bit hard on myself, but also, trying to hold myself accountable. When starting a new job or doing, quite frankly, anything new, you really don't know what the next steps are. If you're performing tasks that you've never performed before and managing things that you've never managed before, and that is the situation that I find myself in now. And so let's just say there's 10 tasks to get accomplished. I may know 5 of those tasks, but I don't know the other 5. And so I inherently stumble through the other 5 tasks that I am not familiar with, don't know, and really haven't had experience with. And so on one hand, that is sucking up my time. Those 5 tasks that I don't know that I'm tripping up on are sucking up my time. And so that is happening with me daily, weekly, monthly for the last 6 months. And quite frankly, I think it will probably continue for the next 6 months or so, as I, start to kind of get the hang of some of these things. So I think that's just an observation, that I feel like I have less time, because in fact I do. A couple of things that, I was researching and I have done in the past, and for whatever reason, without noticing it, I've gotten away from these um, I think habits, if you will, and strategies to try to organize myself and keep myself, I guess, quite frankly, manage my time, manage my calendar, manage my workload, and manage, how that integrates into my personal and professional life. So, a couple things that I've been doing recently, and I've done for years. I did get away from it for a while, and I'm back to it. Is creating a daily note card. I create a daily note card, 3x5 note card, about the size of this coaster, and I write about, I don't know, 10, 12 tasks on it every single day. Monday through Friday. Sometimes I do it on the weekends, but that's more rare. And maybe I should do it 7 days a week so that my weekends are as organized and as my Monday through Fridays are. But I put about 12 tasks, 10 to 12 tasks on that every single day. I usually accomplish, 8 of those tasks in a given day, 8, maybe 10. It's very, very rare that I would accomplish all of those tasks in a day. Sometimes you get one started, but you don't complete it. You've maybe moved it along barely, but your attention needs to go back to it the following day. And so I create that card first thing in the morning. I think about what is the most important thing to get done that day. As things evolve from day to day, those priorities and critical tasks change. And they, in the business, the line of work that I'm in, construction, real estate development, they change every day. Sometimes they change, sometimes it feels like they change hourly. That's not really the case, but it feels that way sometimes. And so the daily note card I found extremely helpful. Another thing I've gotten away from that is an observation of mine is I used to make a list of things that I wanted to get done every Sunday. So Sunday, afternoon, evenings, I would look ahead to the following week and I would make a list of things that I wanted to get done. I tried to make that list proportional to my work and life balance and my schedule. So, call it 80% work, 20% personal, or 70-30. 70-30, it's nice if you can get that. If you can get 30% of, your personal life into your week, that's awesome. And so I found that super helpful. I'd have plans on Friday or Saturday the following week, and I would want to make sure that I accomplish those fun plans. Maybe I'm going to a barbecue or something like that. And so I would make a list on Sundays. So I'm going to get back to doing that because I found that very helpful. In making that list, I think it's an important thing to do, to say, hey, like, what's my top 10 list? What are the top 10 things I want to get done over the week? And what are the top 10 nice to have things that I would like to do over the week as well? Try to spread those out throughout your week, and get to a couple of those nice to haves as well. I've found that when I do those things, I feel better about myself. I'm happy that I got to go do something fun or interesting for my personal life. And it gives me more energy to keep, working hard and working long hours as well. Usually takes me about 45 minutes or an hour to create that list on Sundays. So that's about how long it takes me. Another thing that I got away from, and this is an observation of myself, I've got away from, is blocking my calendar for personal items. I'm going to also start doing that. Block 30 minutes to get a task for your personal item done, or your personal life done, rather. It could be, making a phone call to, I don't know, the bank, or the mortgage company if you're making a change on your mortgage loan or something like that. But, grab 30 minutes on your calendar, block it out. Don't change it unless something absolutely comes up. Otherwise you'll just kind of keep working through that 30-minute window, if you will. So block your calendar for something personal to take care of throughout the week. And so I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start blocking 15 minutes here and there, 30 minutes here and there to knock some stuff out, because inevitably what's been happening to me recently is I get to the end of the day at 5 o'clock or so. And if I need to make that phone call to the bank, which I have had to do recently, they're closed and I can't accomplish my task. Another one I really like to do as a time saver is batch tasks. So I like to batch certain items into monthly tasks, weekly tasks, maybe even quarterly tasks. And so I find it very helpful for like invoices, as an example, paying bills, is I will batch all of those bills into, a 1 hour, 1 hour, or maybe an hour and a half session, whether that's project related bills and you're paying customers and vendors and stuff like that, or they're your personal, bills. So I like to batch tasks and just knock them all out at one time. So that I found very helpful. One thing I forgot of, kind of similar to the note card, the 3x5 note card that I make every day, is it's good to check in with how your progress is going. And if you haven't accomplished several of these kind of key tasks for the day by 10 a.m., you should adjust the rest of your day and what you're focusing on. And then I'd do the same thing at noon so that the day doesn't get away from you. And then those 2, 3, 4 high value items that you wanted to work on, that they don't just slip by you. So that's something that I've also gotten away from and I intend to get back to. I'm a very visual person. One of the things I've always liked is a visual board, whether it's like a visual list, usually on like something big. Paper helps. You can see there's paper right in front of me. Paper is very helpful, but I like to get it out on a big board, like a whiteboard. And sometimes I'll just make a list on the whiteboard. And then other times I will make like a full on like weekly calendar on the whiteboard, day for day for day. And that has been very helpful that I can see it. And for whatever reason, looking on the computer on a calendar is not that helpful to me. But seeing it on a larger format is very helpful to me. I also found that having a 2 or 3 week calendar of tasks that you schedule and you keep current. And so like things move from like one day to the next and the meeting gets rescheduled or a particular item gets delayed. And so, you thought it was going to happen next Monday, but it gets pushed to next Wednesday or Thursday. That might change your travel schedule. If you need to physically be there, that might change. It may conflict with something else. And so I like to actually like almost have a calendar that's almost malleable from a visual and physical standpoint. I think, you're kind of seeing me gesture here, but used to a method called pull planning. And it's when you put sticky notes for each activity and then you kind of line them up on a board. And you can see like, oh man, like that's going to conflict because those two activities are kind of diametrically opposed. And so they can't happen on the same day. And maybe they need a couple of days of separation or something like that. So putting several weeks out in front of you has been very, very helpful. And I used to have some whiteboards downstairs in my house that I would go schedule. And so I'm going to also do that and get some whiteboards next week and put them up and take my, I guess, own advice here. And I think, really that's about it. I think maybe the other item that helps people, it helps me, and also like it helps me on a whiteboard for whatever reason. It doesn't necessarily help me, like on an Outlook or a Google calendar on my computer, but color coordinating your calendar for certain types of items. If your personal stuff's in green or something like that, and your work stuff's in red or orange, just kind of batching those items in a color coordinated way can be really helpful. So that's what I got for today. And thanks for hanging in there with me. I look to kind of be a lot more involved in the podcast in the coming months. Tim and I have also been really, really busy with our work. Tim's really growing his business quite a lot, and like I said, I took on a new job, a new career, and so I'll say for myself, I have not put a lot of effort into the podcast, and I want to get back to it. I want to make time for it. I think the podcast has been really helpful for both of us in a lot of ways. We've grown a lot. I think we have a lot more growing to do. This is still really uncomfortable. And I'd like to kind of get to a spot where it's not still or not so uncomfortable. And I think that's just going to take practice and time. So thanks a lot. Appreciate you guys listening, paying attention. And we look forward to having some more interesting guests on soon in the future. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye.